What really annoys me on the road today is the abundance of SUVs and compact SUVs. I guess what annoys me about them is they're all based on the original Range Rover, or any of the Range Rover's children. The current Range Rovers today, they're made for comfort in driving, and I guess that's where it differs. I look for completely different things in a car. I guess most people don't like driving, they don't enjoy driving, so they get an SUV. Problem with the logic is though, is most of the SUVs and compact SUVs out there aren't doing that job. Most of those compact SUVs and SUVs exist just so that those people will give the car companies the money. Think about it, none of them are as comfortable to be in as a Range Rover is. All of them are about as comfortable as a hatchback is. But no one goes for the hatchbacks, do they? They go for the SUVs. A good example of this is the new X2. I've already complained about the new 1 Series, and this is ridiculous. If you just look at it, if you look at the two pictures, they are exactly the same styling. Okay, so it's not about the looks, because if you like the look of them, you'd be indifferent to both. Next thing about the X2 is that it's supposed to be jacked up, but it's also trying to be sporty. But it's also trying to do what the X1 does, and it's also trying to do what the 1 Series does. But it does neither. It's just got bigger wheels and slightly higher in the air than the 1 Series. So if you want to be jacked up, you get the X1. When would you get this X2? When it comes to the interior of the X2, there's no difference to the 1 Series over the X1. So why does it exist? And it's the same with these and an Audi Q2, a Nissan Juke, T-Roc, Qashqai. All of these types of things are ridiculous, and they are equivalent to designer clothing and designer brands. The other argument with them is that they're a family car. Okay, so what does family car mean? Is that 2 adults in the front drive and the kids sit in the back, maybe a dog, and then that's more about the boot space, isn't it? So what do hatchbacks and estates not fulfill in the same area of interior space for those purposes as an SUV or compact SUV? The space is the same, so it can't be about them, because if you wanted that, you'd go for an estate or you'd go for a hatchback. But people aren't. Before the 2000s, when the Mercedes ML came out, most people did do it that way, through a hatchback or an estate. What's wrong with them now? 3 Series Touring and a 5 Series Touring will do you any job that you're looking for in an X2. They're sport, you can get sporty versions of them, you can get big engine versions of them, and they act as a family car because they have ridiculous amounts of room. You can get a dog in the back of an estate fine. You can sleep people in the back of an estate. So it's not about for the space in it being suitable for families. There's something else to it. It's the high driving position. That makes you feel like a king and makes you feel bigger than everyone and make you feel like you're going to push people off the road. And that's a problem. That's not a good thing. You don't want people trying to barge people off the road or thinking they can squeeze into gaps or push themselves into gaps. That's not what you want. It makes more obnoxious drivers. And I think that's the real problem, is that people are trying to look down on other people. And if that's the case, and you've not got a Range Rover, you can't really look down on anyone. Say you got the real money, and instead of financing a Qashqai, get yourself a Range Rover. And that's the other problem. Why do compact SUVs exist? If people are looking for more space, why do they want a compact big? They want small big. What's the point? It makes no sense at all. Another point is they're always so expensive. That X2 is about 30 grand. You could get that 1 Series for about 6 grand cheaper. Yeah, fair enough, base, but that's 30 grand for the base X2. And people are willing to pay that money. People are willing to loan that money. People are willing to pay interest on that money. I guess it's not so much the car manufacturer's fault, because they don't see it as a problem. The market is really deciding their next move. People are paying for these, and like I said, people are taking money to loan and finance these. They're just taking the money off the people. The problem is those people that will buy them. At the end of the day, I think the root of the problem is the people that buy these type of cars don't enjoy driving. I think that's the root of the problem. And I guess they just want a comfort level when they go out in the car. And I think that's why a lot of Karens get them. They're often Karen cars, aren't they? I guess we all have different intentions for the purpose of a vehicle. But the reason I'm getting so frustrated is less and less car enthusiast cars are coming out, and more of these cars are coming out. It's another thing that depresses me in the car world at the minute. But I don't know what any of these cars drive like. I drive a white Fiesta. So what the hell?